Do you hear it? The whisper of forgotten queens, the sighs of those who thought themselves untouchable. Their beauty fades, their power crumbles, but their sins remain, and among them, none were more cursed than Queen Isolde, the woman who hungered for pleasure more than power, and who paid for it in blood. Let me tell you of a queen whose lips dripped with honey, whose touch ignited fire in the hearts of men, a woman who could command armies with a glance, but in the end, could not command herself. This is not a tale of love, nor is it one of power. It is a warning, written in lust and betrayal. Listen well, for the ghosts of her kingdom still walk among us. If you crave stories of power, betrayal, and the doomed souls of history, subscribe now. The past is never truly dead, and neither are its lessons. From the moment she was crowned, Isolde was beloved. Her beauty was a weapon sharper than any blade, and her smile could make even the cruelest of men weak at the knees. But what is beauty if it is never satisfied? What is a queen who is ruled by her own longing? King Aldrich worshipped her, gifting her pearls, silks, and a throne beside his own. But a throne was not enough. Love from one man was not enough. She wanted more hands to caress her, more lips to taste, more nights where she only liked men, more nights where she was not just a queen, but a woman consumed by desire. And so, behind the golden doors of her palace, beneath the gaze of gods and men, Queen Isolde became something more than a ruler. She became a legend of sin. A queen should be untouchable, her heart locked away for the kingdom alone. But what if the queen finds pleasure in breaking locks? First, it was the knight, loyal, strong, and foolish enough to believe she loved him. Then, a poet, whose words unraveled the silken robes of her restraint. Then a merchant, his hands rough but skilled in ways the kings never were. With each forbidden touch, she laughed at the gods. But the gods do not forget. And neither does a husband who rules a kingdom. A king is not a fool, nor is he blind. Love may dull the sword, but it does not break it. And when a king discovers that his queen is not his alone, he does not weep. He waits. King Aldrich let her believe she was safe. He let her laugh in his halls, let her lay in another man's arms, let her bathe in stolen pleasure. And then, one by one, he took her lovers away. The knight was dragged from his post, his body found lifeless by the riverbank. The poet, his tongue severed so he would never again speak of her. The merchant, burned before the city, his screams echoing into the night. Isolde raged, but the king only smiled. Did you think love was your shield? That the crown upon your head made you untouchable? She was a queen, yes, but even queens can be broken. And so, the queen was left with nothing. No whispered words in the dark, no hands to trace the curves of her desire, no stolen moments of passion, only silence. She called for another lover, one who would never betray her, one who would kiss her lips, steal her breath, and take her to a place where no king could reach her. Lover's name, Death. Some say she drank the poison herself, her final sip tasting of regret. Others whisper that the king had her silenced, her body buried where no man could ever touch her again. But those who have walked the ruins of her palace say otherwise. They say if you listen closely, you can still hear her sighs on the wind, not of pleasure, but of longing. For even in death her hunger remains. What have we learned then? That desire is a fire, and even queens can be burned. That the heart is a wild thing, but a crown is a cage. That in the end, pleasure is fleeting, but the consequences are eternal. The past does not judge, but history, it never forgets. Subscribe for more stories of passion, betrayal, and the dark truths behind the thrones of old. For there are many queens, but few who survive their desires.